your breakage stuff is in there. Okay, good.
And the Jeep pancake.
Hello, GenRight Nation. I'm Tony Pellegrino, and this is Tech Talk. It is July 29th, and I've got Sergeant Jeep Tommy here today to go over a bunch of stuff with me as a guest. So please welcome him online there, and it's a pleasure to have him on. We got to hang out at the Rubicon, so it's good to see him back over here.
Appreciate you.
Let's see. Thanks everybody for joining us. I know everybody's busy and taking time out of your day to tune in and see what's going on. Tech Talk is something that we do live every Wednesday at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So if you haven't seen this before, thanks for joining us, and should be a good show. We're here to talk about my favorite subject, Tommy's favorite subject, and yours, Jeeping. How to drive them, how to build them,
How to break them,
repair them,
repair 'em.
everything. So yeah, it's gonna be good. If you have a question, please just type in as much detail as you can about your vehicle or whatever your question is as a comment, and Jamie can read those off to us, and we can try and answer them for you. We'll get to as many of them. Hopefully we can get to all of them. And I'm also going to ask you to make sure that you subscribe to the GenRight YouTube channel. We'd appreciate that, and that helps us build and also gives you notifications as we go live or post new videos. So, and we're doing that all the time. In fact, I think Jamie's got an upcoming, like, another step of the build of GenRight, and then we're going to have the full new introduction of T-Moto. So. Let's see, if you missed Tech Talk in previous ones, you can always go back and watch them. It's under the live tab on our YouTube channel, and you can just go back through. There's there's years worth of shows, so help yourself. There's lots of topics on there. Today's show, we're going to, well, actually, let's go about what's happening around GenRight. Is this pretty well zoomed in right now, James? Like, Are they looking at the screen pretty good? Okay. Obviously, Terremoto, I just got all the lights on the front. We just wired all the headsets, got everything done. We're actually taking it out to the hammers tomorrow. So we're going to go out there, get the content we need before I get it dirty and mess it up somehow. But I'm looking forward to driving that thing. It should be a lot of fun. So we buttoned it all up today. There's a better picture of the lights. I've got the shocker bar there, and none of that sticks out past that fair lead, so that's really nice. And then we told you guys that we were going to bring in Travis's 392 and gut it and start putting the Vector on. Well, there you go. We're installing it right now. And then we've got a few other builds in the shop. I'll show you what those look like. We just countersunk all the hose on my skid plate for Terremoto, so now that can get put on the belly and none of the bolts stick down, which is nice. There you go. There's a close-up of what it looks like, so the bolt just sits flat. And then this is a customer build. He did our stage 1 and then decided that he really wanted to go bigger. He was out at HDR with us.
Yeah.
And so he's got a pair of 70s going in there, a little bit bigger shocks, and I don't know what else we're doing, but it's a bunch of stuff, and then he'll be on 40s.
It needs an aluminum diet.
Yeah, it does. That bumper is not part of the program.
Yeah. We'll have to get him on the full program very soon.
Then we've got a Tracer being built with a factory drivetrain with Atlas on it. and then the 70s, the Curry 70s. So the Jeep tub is right there, which is right there. And that got all, stretched and painted to match and everything. So that's all super clean now. We put the cage in that, the new rockers. So that's coming together. And then Jamie just put some brand new tires on his Jeep, and he's working on some of the belly stuff. He had a leak, so he's trying to get that squared away. But basically, his time to kind of get this thing freshened up too. So good to see him working on that. Back to Travis's, I just took a couple more shots, and I guess that's it. Okay, today's show is about Jeepers. This was the 74th annual.
Yeah.
I've been going since 2006, so this is my 20th one.
I haven't been going that many times, but I won't miss any now. It's such a
it's
good
fun.
time.
It's fun.
Yeah.
So that's really good. And next year's the 75th. I already put the word out that I bought a block of spots in next year's event. So if you want to go, you got to get a hold of me, and I can get you signed up through us. And I think I've already got 10 of those filled. So people have been messaging me quick to get on that. And we're going to show you why, because it's a darn good time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. So these
right
aren't in order. We're on the water.
Yeah.
This is the Rubicon River. This is our camp is literally like right over here. And it's a lot of fun. We get there, we set up the tent, we air up our rafts, and it's good to get out there and have some fun.
And pass around the vodka gummies.
Yeah, jeez. That was,
That's rough.
I kept passing it. Here's so they serve you breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's part of the ticket price. And they really do it nice. By the way, that piece of ham is like that thick. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Scrambled eggs, and you can doctor them up with whatever you want. And that, if you can't see it on the screen, that pancake looks like a Jeep grill.
Yeah.
The guy's pretty creative back there. And that's a good shot. That was Tommy's breakfast. This is also Tommy's.
Yeah, that was Sunday's breakfast.
Yeah, this is on the way out, right?
Yeah.
So we wheel the trail in, which is the normal way, into Rubicon Springs, and then everybody goes out through Cadillac. We don't do that. We go the other way, which is more fun. Obviously, Tommy had a lot more
expensive.
fun.
We're both.
And we've.
Little Sluice was wow. It was eaten up. Don't go in there without a spot like myself, because then you're sacrificing.
Yeah, you've got a
it looks very familiar.
Sample that looks a lot like that, right?
Yeah. We'll talk more about that.
Yeah. We start out at the ice house, and that's kind of our base camp. We get all of us together there, and then the next morning we take off. So this is a restaurant and a bar. Very nice. You can camp here. They've got a few motel rooms, and they have a lot of parking for trucks and trailers. So it's a great place to securely leave your stuff. You can go in, get something to eat, hang out, have a couple drinks, and then hit the sack, kind of what we call pre-party. And then we take off the next morning very early. And I think I got a picture of that too. Oh, here's your other picture.
We need to come back to that.
Yeah, we can come back to that later. Okay, so this jumped a little bit. We're actually just through the gatekeeper right here, headed in. Tommy was the first one in line.
I was. So I made the mistake of going in an hour after it starts, and that ended up being an 8-hour day on the trail behind some lesser vehicles.
This time was what, 3 or 4 hours? It wasn't bad at all. Yeah. So we had a really good time getting in. I think we were camp set up with air in the rafts by noon.
Oh, easy.
And we were ready to go. So
ready to
it was
rock,
good.
Yeah.
So just a couple shots to give you kind of some perspective of the rocks we're working our way through. And but by the way, the sun's not up for some of these, so that's why it looks.
It almost looks like a sunset, but it's actually sunrise.
Yeah.
The sun is rising just as you're going on the
slabs.
The slabs. Yeah.
So these are some customers that we had along with us, and they had a great time. Here we are coming through. This is just after the little sluice on the way in.
Yep.
There's Richard in his Tracer build. That thing worked perfect the whole time.
It's such a good-looking Jeep.
Yeah.
It's just he did such an excellent job on that.
Yeah, it really looks nice. And then this is.
That looks like it's going toward Little Sluice.
Yeah.
Possibly.
So again, the pictures aren't in order, but
yeah.
just to give you some perspective. And our group would bunch up every once in a while, and then we'd keep going. Mm-hmm. And then this is my tent at camp. Tommy's was like right next to me, and then the water is right there.
Well, right here is right where the water flows.
Yeah,
right out through here. Yeah.
So it's really nice. You hear the water flowing the whole time. There it is.
There it is. Yeah.
Okay, so you can see, and then there's even a bigger water flow just a little bit over. Mm-hmm. So very nice. And then back to the trail. So Cheyenne was from like Reno area.
Oh yeah, she was from Reno area.
Paul was from Oregon.
I
don't know who we got behind
him. I think that was somebody that just kind of popped in.
We had Richards, Arizona. You're Rosemond, right?
Yeah.
So we had a few. Bill was Carson City.
Steve, new guy, Steve that come to our group. He's stationed over here.
Port Hueneme?
Yeah. He lives in Camarillo, right up the road.
And then we're forgetting somebody.
Don't do that.
Was in there. So I don't know. There was 10 of us.
Patrick and Laura. They're from San Diego. Vista.
Yep. I don't know why. I guess they're ahead of me. You guys were
ahead
of
me.
Yeah,
we were just a tad ahead of you.
Yeah. Some geese came through. They were
right as we were just sitting there BS, and they just kind of came up.
Water.
Yeah.
And here we are coming down. Oh, back to camp. So you can see, this picture's from my tent, and there's Cheyenne and her mom down there at the water. One of those rafts is mine down there, and you just hop in. And Jennings rode the little rapids right there several times. So, and then you go out. The main picture that we showed you earlier was out on the bigger part of the river that slows down. So that was nice. This is where we camp every year. So.
Yep.
And then this is dropping down toward Buck Island. I'm surprised you can't see the lake, but it's rocky. So if you had any question about how rocky it was.
What I liked about the Rubicon, it's not an obstacle, 10 minutes, there's an obstacle, maybe, and it's like non-stop the whole way.
Yeah, and even when you're in one spot, you better pay attention because you're going to need to be on one side or the other or whatever the case is. So, yeah, it's a good one. And then, I don't know what, I think there was people coming this way and we were going this way, so we were just walking
That looks just shy of Buck Island, yeah.
And then there you can see my tent and the water right there.
Yeah, that's how close we are.
Yeah, so that was cool. There's the geese. And this guy was directing them on. They're in our pool.
Yeah.
That's funny. And then, by the way, there's 2 stages for live entertainment. That's one right there. And then there's a bigger one just off to the right out of the picture here. There's a outdoor bar. There's the ice cream parlor, and they sell some swag over here.
Yeah.
That's that other cover is for tables where you can eat.
Covered eating.
And then right behind that stage is where they serve all the food. So these people are in line. There's 2 lines, and they're going to get their food. So, like I said, they serve you breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it's pretty darn nice in there. You get a feel for how nice it is.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we ran into some of the folks we know out there. Shannon Campbell and his wife Jess, another buddy of mine, and Jennings and I there. And behind us, this guy over here is cooking pizzas, and then that's the outdoor bar over there where you see the Monster and Race line.
Have you had his pizza before?
It was great. I had some pepperoni. It was good.
It's way good.
So, just another shot of all the people and fun going on. They haven't quite lit the fire yet. You'll see that in a minute here. And then there's a lot of sponsors for this event. So that's cool. And on Saturday morning, they make us set up, if we go there as a vendor, a little booth so people can come by and look at the Jeep and talk to me and stuff. Yeah. So everybody did this.
And thanks to a lot of people that stopped by and just shook hands, took pictures, asked questions. It was nice to have people come by and just BS and talk.
And get information. Yeah. Then this just looks like another shot of everybody. These are the tables you eat dinner and stuff at.
Yep.
Oh, and he made me a GenRight pancake, a little GR pancake, which is pretty cool. I scarfed that baby.
Yeah.
And then this is a customer that bought, fenders and rockers and a bunch of roll cage, everything from me a while back. And I never knew if the Jeep was done. He even has our armrests. And he built this really cool looking dash.
That thing is clean. I did see that in there. That is extremely clean.
That is.
Very, very clean. I believe that's a CJ.
It is, CJ7, yeah.
Yeah, very clean.
So I guess this has been in their family for a while, so he wanted to fix it up, and it looks really nice.
Yeah.
So. Oh, and then a bunch of the guys took a walk. So I showed them around the Springs area all the way back to the Dirty Dozen.
Back to the Dirty Dozen. Yeah.
And this was part of the way you get there. So somebody tied a rope up so you can get down this slippery section of rock without falling in the water. The person right in front of us landed in the water.
Yes, she just saved herself from a bad day.
So this whole area, you can't be disabled. You need to be able to get around.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. So,
but everyone's there listening to music, enjoying their time.
Yeah.
You know what always people ask me, well, is the wheeling good? Yeah, the wheeling's good, the food's good. You know what the best time is for me, and you see it, my cell phone. I don't have no service.
Yeah.
I just put my cell phone up on the dash, I throw it in my bag, and then just
check out.
Check out. Yeah,
it'll be there when you get back.
Exactly.
It is nice. You actually have to talk to people.
Yeah, imagine that. Imagine that.
But the trip goes so fast.
Unfortunately, this year felt.
I know.
This year felt fast.
Because you wheel in the one day, and then you have 2 days to relax, but then you're packed up and on the way out. So yeah. All right, so there's somebody coming down the rocks. All these pools and stuff are really cool. Just behind us, we stopped and played golf, and we were doing there's lots of people up there. It's fun.
You can see how crystal clear the water is.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
It's nice. And then these folks were playing some kind of a screwed up game of bocce ball.
Yeah, it was some altered bocce ball name.
The loser has to carry everybody's bags, so I guess that gal was the loser.
Hope she's gonna have some Advil
But by
later.
the time we left, somebody else was getting the bags. So, yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
And then back to our camp.
Getting back.
Just more, looking around.
Walking around.
Lots of people camped out there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is looking back toward our camp from like the Reno guys.
This is where we're just sitting in the water. We're just kind of chilling in the water right there.
Yeah. And then here's Jennings. So that's our tents behind us right there. This is Jennings. We walk from our camp to breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you got to do a little rock hopping to get there, or you take a chance on the dusty, dirty trail that is slippery.
It's bad.
So you're better off to do it this way.
Yeah.
Finally, she didn't have flip-flops on. This is like the one shot she didn't have
she
flip-flops
came in
on.
when we were all unloading. I looked at her feet. I'm like, did you not learn from last year? I know. It's like, go put some shoes on.
Yeah. So this is one of the cook crew, and he got one of our GenRight floppy sun hats.
Yeah.
So he was wearing that. Oh, and by the way, did we mention they served ribeye?
Yeah, that's so good.
With corn on the cob and French bread and Caesar salad, it was delicious.
It's good.
Mine didn't stand a chance.
No. And that's what a lot of people they talk about, like, well, how much is it? And I tell them it's around $700. Like, that's a lot. I was like, if you think that you don't have to bring anything in, if it was up to me, it'd be like a case of raviolis, gummy bear. I eat like a child, so so the fact that I don't have to stress about cooking or eating a cold can of raviolis or an MRE, that's just so much better. It's well worth it. Yeah, well worth it.
They cooked 1,500 of those.
Yeah.
So, there was a lot. I have a picture somewhere in here of like a massive pile of steaks.
Yeah.
So we always tried to eat together, which was nice. And you can see I'm wearing one of the shirts from...
That was Saturday's. That was Saturday's shirt, yeah.
And so what I do is every day you get a different shirt. So one day was like a light blue, one day was a gray, and these are all marked Jeepers Jamboree in the year and everything. So you go home with something to keep and wear later. Some of the folks dressed up. They have a theme night for America 250.
250, yeah.
And that's Erin. She's been to the Rubicon with me a bunch of times, and got a picture of her and Jennings out there. And
it was good to see all the patriotism, though.
For sure.
It was so awesome. There was that flyover from the sheriff's department with a guy like hanging off a big rope and a huge American flag.
Yeah.
That was awesome to see.
I might have a picture of that.
Yeah,
We'll
and
see.
then shout out to Bailey and Chris, or Brian, sorry.
for going up on the rock.
They went way up
Yeah.
on that rock and hung a big American flag down.
I should have a picture of that.
Yeah, it was just a great environment.
Yeah, it was
awesome.
for sure. And this rock here behind the bar, you're going to see in just a second. We all went up there, and we were standing on that, like checking out the crowd. And that's Bob. He's the organizer, doing the raffle and some other stuff before the band starts. That's the other stage with the live band and the dance floor. So that's good. There's our crew standing there listening. And here looks like the band isn't started. That's the fire people.
Yeah, they're blowing flames.
So they did like a little fire show, which is pretty cool. And then here we are out on the trail. I think this is the way.
That's actually where we're parked.
Where we're parked. Okay, good.
Yeah. That's where I kind of back into where it's my Jeep's a little
unload.
lower.
Yeah.
So I can get all my stuff out.
Yeah. Even that was a little treacherous, some of those rocks here.
For sure.
So, and there's Bill. He's got a stretch TJ, so that's our TJ to LJ. And he said he found that roof rack. It's held on by 4 bolts, and he just screwed it right through the aluminum top. And so I told
that
him it's
aluminum
perfect.
that'll hold easily.
And then this was another gentleman with a built-up 4-door that joined us, which is cool. And then this is the bridge right before you get to Rubicon Springs. Everybody likes a picture on here. That's Richard going across. So I got a picture of him. And then
That's
this
coming
is
up
Big
Sluice.
Yeah. Where that scout came up. And then here's the dam at Buck Island. This is a beautiful lake. I've never camped here myself, but it's kind of the halfway point.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do elect to camp here. You do fishing and swimming and stuff.
Well, they also have, if you break halfway through the trail, they actually have like a mini garage
That's
set
right.
up
Yeah,
on
that's
Buck
right
Island.
near here. Yeah.
It's actually right over here
there.
where they set up and you can.
Yeah, I should have taken a picture of that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, full mechanic station.
Yeah, for sure.
That's cool. Then just somewhere on the trail.
That looks like when you were parked helping me fix my pile.
Okay, this is a big piece of the story on the way out.
Yeah.
So Paul decided he really wanted to run the old sluice. And I don't blame him. He came from Oregon. He drove a long way. Like, might as well give it a shot. I knew I couldn't do it with a hard top on. No chance.
Yeah.
No chance. So you went, he went,
Richard
went.
Richard went, I went, Paul went.
Yeah. So that was cool. But it took its toll pretty quick.
Dude, I've never seen it, even in picture, I've never seen it that rough in there. Even Rich was like, I almost had to winch myself out of that. It was like to see, I should have known better when I saw how crazy he had to get and I didn't have a spot. I should have been like, another time, but I was like, right into it. Yeah, and then once I got my Jeep,
did you have the wheels cranked or did you have to give it a lot of gas?
There was a part where I was sunk down, and I think because I didn't have a spot, wasn't looking, I think I had my wheel bound up and it chunked a rock up and it just bounded up, and I heard a pop that didn't sound like a rock moving, like a metal pop, and I kind of kept going, then that doesn't sound, I got out and I'm like, that doesn't look good.
Yeah.
So, and then he tugged me back a little bit, and then I two-wheeled out of the hole, and then I spotted him.
I saw you.
Yeah, and then I spotted him through.
Yeah. Okay. So Paul was able to continue on. Not far from the end, he lost all his steering. Now, I don't know if you can see very well. He's full hydro, and you know how I feel about that. And there's a good reason for it.
So full hydro, you will steer. It will push through anything. But once you lose fluid pressure, you have no mechanical link to your knuckles. You're not steering, so you're only on fluid pressure. Whereas your hydro assist, if you lose the pump, you still have a mechanical where you can get it out.
Gearbox.
A physical gearbox connected with a drag link to get you out. Because it took us at least, an hour to get him 100 yards?
Yeah.
And I guess as a G was to show you guys how we did it, it's Tony's idea. In fact, he taught me something. Was we took his winch and we winched it to his knuckle, And everywhere we needed to pull back up, it'd pull it straight, loosen the winch. I was operating the winch as he was driving.
Yeah.
And then we needed to steer the other way. We unhooked, went back there and steered the other way. So it took us we got
good at it. We were getting better at it. But we had to use the winch to keep turning the wheels left to right and get them down the trail.
And it was hard on his chassis pulling over that because those tow hooks are not straight anymore.
Yeah.
We were pulling pretty hard on it. So
fortunately, the Jeep kept running. Even though we didn't have steering, we were able to, keep them moving. Then once we got them out of the big rocks on the trail, I was able to hook up to them, and it's a little bit hard to see, but those two ropes crisscross, and they're actually short tree straps. We had to make them equal length, but they crisscross, and we put another soft shackle in the middle to make sure they kind of stayed that way. And doing that, when I drug him along, it actually steered the Jeep and kept him right behind me. And this was just past Buck Island, so we had half the trail to wheel out like this.
Yeah.
And we're going backwards, so that was even more challenging.
Once my Jeep went and then this one, I knew we were going to have a long day.
Yeah. But we were out of back to the staging area by 3 p.m.
Yeah,
so
that's
it wasn't bad.
Not bad.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
So.
I had to wheel. If you go back, I show guys how we did this to where it's strapped into my.
Oh yeah. Right about here.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Wow. There
it is. So typically when you knock a cap out of here, you generally stop and figure it. But I didn't. I apparently kept going and I munched the ears off pretty good. And then if I was in a lesser Jeep, I probably would have pulled everything out, take the inner shaft so I could at least lock the other side in.
Yeah.
But I took the angle grinder, just like this, we cut the ears off of it because it's held in with a snap ring into the hub, and then I strapped the inner axle back to keep it from interfering, from banging, and to keep the fluid in the axle, and I just disconnected front drive, turned my front locker off, and then
unlocked the hubs.
And then drove the entire trail out in two-wheel drive. I think Bill had a quick tug on me twice, but I drove the trail. But
yeah, you were pretty stoked to get out of there in two-wheel drive.
Yeah. I was a little proud of myself. Even Bill's like, I cannot believe you just did all this in two wheels. Like, well. Thanks to the suspension being able to react the way it is, and 42s and a little bit of driver talent got me out. But yeah, really, if it was a much harder trail, I would have pulled the knuckle off, pulled that inner axle shaft out, and then stuffed a bunch of rags to keep the fluid in there because
as much as you could,
much as I could, yeah.
As you can see, it's already all over the tire.
You should see it now after driving back to Georgetown on the road. The whole side of my Jeep is just sloshed with.
Oh man!
I mean, it is what it is, but yeah, there'll be a good nut and bolt inspection afterwards. Yeah.
All right, let's power back through here. Jamie, any questions so far?
Yes, that'd be small questions, but regarding rebuilding Johnny joints, what are your thoughts on using only a hard pump grease gun as opposed to a pneumatic or electric one?
Good question. Okay, so we actually have the insides of a Johnny here today, and you can see that it's kind of blown out. It's very important that you only put about 3 pumps of grease in here, and you want to use a very tacky type of grease, that'll really stay in here instead of just squirt out. If you don't have any choice, a moly grease of some kind is definitely a plus versus a lithium style. You want moly. But if you punch in too much grease in here, you'll actually get the plastic or the urethane, start blowing out. Mm-hmm. So you definitely don't want to push too much through there. In the old days, when we would lube like a U-joint, what you'd do is you'd push enough in until you saw the black stuff come out, and then it would be the clean
new
stuff,
stuff in,
right?
yeah.
So that's not necessarily the way you do it with the Johnny.
No.
So good question.
And as far as how to check, if you can't tell these are blown, get someone in the Jeep, load the suspension, put
That's
the
right.
brake on, and just jolt it back and forth. You'll see your control arms move. You'd probably know it because on 42s, I go through these a little more than I would
Yeah.
on 40s for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But have somebody in it, you get down there and look as they're going from forward to reverse, you'll see the movement, and then you'll definitely be able to see if these are blown out in your Johnny joints.
Yeah, and obviously if you get under there and crank the arm and it's totally loose, if you can move it by hand, it's done.
Oh, yeah.
So you definitely need to check that. And some of you are going to ask, well, why not go to Heims? Well, Heims are really noisy. So it's going to make it sound like you have a loose control arm all the time. And the durometer of this urethane also helps soften the shock load from everything you're hitting.
Yep.
So if you go to a solid mount like a Heim, then all that shock load is going right into the bracket or right into the frame, and eventually something's going to crack.
Yeah, yeah. And,
So-
it makes for a little bit rough on the trail, too, coming off of stuff. I mean, it's as much as this little bit, it helps
cushion,
a lot.
yes.
It helps a lot.
Yeah, and that piece is not very much to rebuild. So say you do it once a year, and it's just a consumable item, and it's just the way it goes, just like your tires wearing out.
Yeah, yeah. These aren't going to last forever, and they're not meant to last forever.
Right. So, more questions, James?
Nope.
Okay, so onto this picture. I'm going to zoom in a little bit and see if we can show you what we did. So we took the soft shackle and we went around. It's a double shear kind of a knuckle. We went around the one long bolt that goes through, and we were able to hook that to the strap. This is how we actually got it to steer back and forth. Had this not had that, we might have been able to wrap around, somewhere else, but it's very important that you wrap in a way that it cinches down on there and is able to pull. And let me tell you, that winch was working hard to pull these tires back and forth.
And I even made a mention because he had the VR Warren. Now, Warren, obviously, you're the best, but that VR is their only Chinese import winch.
Yeah.
So if you can pay up a little more, try to steer clear of the VR and get into the Xeons, the Platinums, and those winches, because they absolutely work better.
So then, here's kind of the same side or other side, but is a little bit easier to see just based on how we took the picture. And believe it or not, this got us all the way out. So we were pretty happy. The other thing that we did do was we took the lines off the ram and we put one line that looped through so the fluid could go back and forth easily.
Yeah.
And not have to work through the system.
And this is just some we took a rag to keep the dirt and duct taped it, but these were the supply lines, and this was the loop.
Yep.
The loop here for that.
Yeah.
But it looked like he either had a blockage or most likely he smoked the vanes in the pump.
Yeah, which actually let's look at that.
And you guys hear us talk about the steering pumps and how it burns them out in the vanes, but Tony's got a great picture of the internals of showing what it really looks like, what those vanes truly look like.
So here's what the inside of a pump looks like. And I can zoom in a little bit here. So on the inside of a pump, you've got this round, and by the way, the pulley is on the other side of this, right? And then these little vanes, which are just chunks of metal, they float inside each of these grooves. And this kind of looks like an old Mazda rotary engine, right? So what happens is this is where the vanes, now keep in mind, this is spinning, right? So these vanes want to come out, and they pick up fluid, and then on this side they force it out to wherever it's going. And there is a bypass in this system, so if it doesn't have anywhere to go, it just circulates through. But what happens is the vanes get damaged, or the wall of this gets damaged, and then they don't seal anymore. Sometimes this is a very close tolerance where these slide. If the fluid gets dirty or this whole thing gets hot, it expands and the stuff gets stuck. And they'll stay inside like that.
And there's just bypassing
And
the
you're
whole time.
bypassing. So we think that's what happened to Paul.
And another thing, when you have these, when you go lock to lock and you hear that, never hold your wheel at lock. That's the quickest way to burn up those vanes.
Yeah.
If you feel that you hit the lock, come right just off of it, but never hold it to lock. That's a quick way to burn a pump.
Yeah, yeah, it sure is. Okay, so let's see. Here's us up on the rock. This was the light blue shirt night. We're up there all kind of taking it in. And again, we're just like right above the bar, which is really cool. Not very many people went up there.
Oh, surprisingly.
And you got a great view from up there. Oh, here's we're all staged at 4.
That looks like Ice House.
4:45 at Ice House, and we're ready
to
to take off. Yeah. So I took that picture right before we left.
That's a good picture. That's right. That kind of
it's dark.
Shows you what it is.
It's dark. And then, of course, when you come across the second dam, you see this sign, you know you're at the right place, and then you circle around and you kind of go over where those Jeeps are there, and you're getting on the trail. So pretty cool. And then here, I wasn't kidding, you know, the sun's not up yet.
Yeah, it's not up.
And we're getting on the trail. And this is cool. There's Richard going across and some of the other Jeeps, but the sun's just catching the trees.
Starting to catch the horizon, yeah.
Yeah. So, and you can see the Jeeps, they go all the way down and they loop around and come all the way back up. We are the first people on the trail. There's nobody ahead of us. And that's awesome. That's what you want.
Yeah.
Makes it go a lot faster. So here again, we're just kind of plugging along.
That's right as we get to the top of the slabs. It's right when you start getting into the trees and such.
Yep. Oh, and this is after
That's
Buck
right
Island
after
Dam.
Buck Island, yeah.
So that was a good little spot. Mm-hmm. So somebody went over here.
I did that 2 years ago, but I
did you go that way this time?
This year I went clean right exactly where you took Aftershock. If you're not part of the Jamboree, you go on an off time, that's a great area to play and take different lines. If you camp at Buck Island, that is a big playground right there. A lot of difficult lines, a lot of stuff there. That's a great place.
Before this, there's another spot in the rocks that has a double hump. You come through the water and you can spin your tires and see where you can get traction and stuff. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep, I do.
Yeah. So this is after we're all up there.
Oh, that's right at there's
the
Buck
next
Island
guy
there.
coming.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Another guy broken on the trail, right?
And somebody said axle shaft. I'm like, I've never taken off a knuckle just to do an axle shaft. I said, that might be a knuckle. He might have actually broke the knuckle. I'm saying the arm off the knuckle for the tie rod, but that was just before getting into Big Sluice.
Yeah, so this is a Dana 44, and he obviously is not having a very good day. Fortunately, they got it just off the trail enough we could get by.
And I was sitting on a high lift.
Yeah.
I don't know if you recall. I was like, if somebody
Clips
barely bumps that's going to be a bad day.
Here's the next picture.
Yeah. And you can see how close it is.
Yeah, that's
the Cheyenne's Jeep. Yeah.
And by the way, there's Cheyenne coming by.
Just barely.
Look at that thing. It's about ready to punch a hole in the door. That's a bad idea right there.
Yeah, I think I would have turned that around, but whatever.
Whatever.
I know a guy that's got doors.
So it wasn't there on the way out. So obviously
I actually saw it in the garage.
You did?
Through the weekend, yeah. Okay. He ended up making it to the garage.
Okay, we mentioned earlier, when you go across the bridge, everybody likes to get a picture there as we're coming into Rubicon Springs. And
speaking of which,
Aftershock and Cheyenne. I guess we got a video of Patrick or whoever was behind me. Yeah. This is Sunshine. She's kind of in charge of the cook crew, and she's been going there since she was a little girl. And her father was there, and her grandfather. So she's a multi-generational, person that's associated with Jeep Jamboree.
And it's Jeepers. Not one person there is upset to be there. They're all polite, all super welcoming. It's just the environment. I've said it before, but just for the experience, it's so well worth the money.
It is.
And even though they have one this coming weekend for kids, it's called Camp Rubicon. He puts on, but it's nothing like. This is the only event I've ever been that's like this, and I've been doing this for 30-something years.
Yeah.
This is the only event like it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then there's our group for a quick little shot down there, right in front of the second stage. And you can see behind us, that's the schedule. So you know what time to show up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, yeah, pretty fun.
Question.
Sure.
What was the ambient temp, high and low, generally for the Rubicon?
Mid 80s during the day.
high, yeah.
I think 87 may have been the highest, and low 50s at night. And not, if you looked at all those pictures, not a cloud in the sky. The weather could not have been any better.
Yeah, in fact, normally we've got to wear pants and sweatshirts and stuff to dinner. Not this year.
No.
It was really quite pleasant.
Couldn't have asked for better weather.
Yeah.
No bugs either. There was not a bug.
I didn't put on
nothing.
any bug spray.
No.
So, yeah, it's pretty nice.
All right.
Oh, here you go. There's the pile of steaks. Can you see that?
And those
Look at
aren't
that.
cheap steaks.
Those are all giant ribeyes that they're seasoning and everything and getting on the barbecue. So, and they're cooking, I don't know, like 50 of those at a time between the two sides. It's a lot.
No, it's
It's a
crazy.
lot.
They've got these big old meat hooks. They're
Just
meat all around
flicking
them.
them. Yeah. And then here we are back on the water. Of course, this was an hour after eating, so. And then this is the view from up above where we were
on that
standing.
rock. Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. You get to kind of see everything up there.
And you can camp here outside of this event. It's private property.
Yep.
Rubicon Springs is private property, but you can camp there, and they have daily rates and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's
to camp
25
there, something
a
like
night,
that.
yeah.
But it's available throughout the year.
Yeah. Okay, now they got the big fire going. So everybody's hanging out, and the pizza guy's going back there.
Yeah.
And then this was another view of that CJ we were checking out with the cool dash. Now you can kind of see our cage and corners and fenders and rear bumper plate and stuff. So, yeah, John's the guy that actually runs King of the Hammers, and that's his Jeep. So
Oh, really?
that was the first time I got to see it.
Oh, rad.
So, pretty cool. And then here again is at night, the band's playing, the bar's lit up. I think that's actually you still up there on the rock.
Yeah, me and Steve were up to just
Yeah.
BS. And that rock, even, it was got to be like 9 o'clock at night, and that rock
Warm.
is still radiating heat. We're
I
just
know.
sitting up there
It's
BSing,
great.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's fun. And you can just see everybody socializing. It is great. All these people out there, and everybody had to work hard to get there. There was no free ride on that deal, so
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. And then here's another couple shots of Cheyenne and Paul coming in. Okay, I guess that's it for the
For Jeeper side of it, I guess.
So feature product. Let's talk about, grab one of those windshield guards. So on the way in, I don't know if you realize this, but we make windshield guards for TJs, LJs, and JKs. And on the way in, Patrick tagged his in one of those narrow spots, and this saved it. So this is a very inexpensive piece. They're less than $200, I know for sure, like $149.
Well, I can tell you they're cheaper than a windshield frame.
Yeah, that's for sure. And you can just rattle can them. I mean, some people paint them to match, but the reality is, if you're going to use it like our rock slider, you might as well just rattle can it.
Because you're going to. Well, then it's easy. It's not permanent. You can take it off.
Yeah.
Do what you need to do with it and put it right back on.
Pretty nice. So that's one of the things I want to talk about. The other was, if you don't have corner guards, please get them. It's really important you put them on before you damage any part of that whole corner.
Yeah, there was
the side, the back, anything.
Remember that couple that came to the vendor show and they're like, "Well, we haven't really hit ours yet." I was like, "Whoa! You don't want to hit them and then order our. You need to put them on now because."
And we saw plenty of people with missing taillights and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
man,
for sure.
You're so close at that point.
Another product I like, especially on the Rubicon, because some of these people that are coming in CJ, YJ, TJs, they look like the Beverly Hillbillies with stuff strapped everywhere, is your racks. Really the ones that go on the tailgates too. Those work really well. It's just that extra bit of space. But those, I saw several people with your racks and then the ones on the tailgates, and that's a like a Rubicon. If you have a short wheelbase, that is a Rubicon must.
Yes.
You're going to need some space or somewhere
Yeah.
to hold something on because
Yeah.
you can't go too high and too wide because it'll catch on the trees. It might catch a rock.
That's right.
So being that off the back of it, you're not going to hit it.
Yeah, and
you can put
the reason
sleeping
he's
bags.
talking about that is because they keep stacking it up, and you're your center of gravity is so high. So if you
Yes.
can just move some of that heavy stuff down to the rear, then you're even better off. We do make brackets that hold it on the rear tailgate, and then like I run that rack in my tire carrier, and I just pack it full of stuff that I don't want inside, and it's super handy. So those are great. Was there one more thing we wanted to talk about? Was there? Oh, jeez.
So we did have an individual that had this clamp on. It was an aluminum clamp on an aluminum tie rod, and after a while, he had a whole bunch of left and not a lot of right. Well, this slid, and I know Tony talks about he hates these things. You don't do them. If you run the Elite, or now will be the Vector and some of the other suspension,
stuff,
it's welded on here, double shear that welds. If you have to run this, I understand some people based on their suspension, you have to run these. Make sure you get a quality one. And my hint to these, if you have an aluminum clamp on an aluminum tie rod, put a good sizable tack on both of these where you can just easily get a cutting wheel and cut them off, because I don't care how good it is, they're gonna slide. They get kind of oil in them.
Yeah.
They wear out. There's so much for it. They will absolutely slide. If you have a steel clamp on a steel tie rod, put a good size tack on it. But without, I mean, it happened. We were there.
And almost always what happens is the guy driving hits a rock, doesn't realize it. It's pushed the tie rod back into the diff cover. And then he continues to steer, and it just shoves the tie rod right through, and that's how they end up moving.
And once they start to move, it's extremely difficult to get them to stop moving. Very difficult.
So if you have an aluminum, you're going to have somebody TIG tack that on there for you. You can't just take any old welder and do that. So, but if you have a steel one on a steel, then you can take a MIG welder.
And just weld a good size on anything.
Yeah. Just enough to keep it from like jumping over and going. So.
Couple questions.
Sure.
When's the Vector kit going to be available?
So we're just finishing the pricing right now. So I think we're going to have pricing. It might even be on my desk right now, but by tomorrow or Friday for sure. And then we can start selling that. We're writing the instructions right now while we're putting it on the blue 392 that we showed you. So we're just proving out a couple of things and making sure everything's good. We are already making 15 kits. So the order went out like 2 weeks ago to have everything laser cut and everything. So that'll come back. We'll start pre-welding the sub-assemblies, and that'll be the first kits that are available. So if you're interested, call in, get your name in line, and Jamie and I are going to start working on the website, and we'll have the options, so you can order up the stuff you need. That won't be tomorrow because we'll be at the Hammers tomorrow, but he'll probably work on that on Friday. Okay.
LJ Cowboy, is it possible to stack your cargo racks for more storage?
Sure. I mean, right now the cargo rack that I have in mind is just above my fridge, and I noticed some people had an ice chest and stuff. So what we're trying to do is stack the heavy stuff on the bottom and then the lighter stuff up on top. That way, again, you don't get that heavy center of gravity. And something like the Rubicon, you're beating back and forth all day long, man, and it gets old. So the better you can make that, the happier you're going to be, or your passengers for sure. But I suppose, you could do like a larger one and then have a smaller one up above. I know some of our customers have actually anchored the back and then put them on little gas struts and had them tilt up and stuff.
I've seen that.
So people have done some other stuff. The reason I don't do that is when they're empty, they'll rattle. And, they try and clamp them and do some other stuff. But for us on a production basis, that's not very
free to
realistic.
customize as you will.
As you would, yeah, for sure. What else you got?
KDW 5120. Do you have to remove the body to install the Vector kit?
You do not. In fact, that's the first one we did not remove the body. The second one we're confirming that everything can be done without removing the body. So that's the idea. Obviously, if you had the ability, then it would be easier, it would just go faster. but you probably only save a day or two, maybe.
Yeah.
So, it's not that big of a
This
deal.
is not, you're not trying to beat world speed records by
Right.
doing this stuff.
Right.
So, but even if between, you can always unbolt the body and pull it up a little bit without having to go through disconnected.
If you
put
had
some
to.
4x4s in there and give you a couple inches.
Yeah, to get
your stinger in there
Yeah.
to weld. That's an option you can do without a whole lot of work.
Yep. What else you got, Jay?
Trail Team 7. Did I miss the story on Little Sluice? Did they ever find your Yahoos?
I can't hear you, Jimmy.
I can't hear you, bud. Did I miss the story on what? Did we
Little
find
Sluice.
what?
The story on Little Sluice. Did they ever find the Yahoos?
The Yahoos.
They did, and they arrested some of them. The whole thing kind of snowballed into making it a bigger deal than it actually
Yeah,
was.
I was gonna let you see what you said, but
Yeah.
I think they blew that into a when I first heard, I was like, oh man, what happened? And I watched them like an unsanctioned event. It was two dudes racing their cars through it. Everyone has their different options. I just felt there was more to worry. To me, someone letting their campsite go with a bunch of trash to me is a bigger deal than two guys being butt heads through a trail.
Look, the Rubicon is not the place for that. I'll be the
for
first
sure.
to say that. Go to the Hammers or somewhere else. But I could also see a couple guys like Tommy and I. You show the other guy your front bumper, and it's like it's on, right? So I can see how the perception from the outside was like, hey, that's not cool. And again.
And it doesn't take a couple guys that are new to four-wheeling, have a bunch of money, go get some built-up rigs, and before you know it, you're seeing these, I won't mention the channel, but a couple of these buttheads on YouTube posting in this, and it's the Rubicon, for one, it's a county road or some sort. That's not, you can get a DUI on the Rubicon Trail.
Yeah.
It's just like Tony. It's definitely not the place for that. And once you let a little bit of it go, you're opening the floodgates, and before you know it, we might have some hippies trying to close down our.
Yeah, I mean it's a beautiful place
it's
to go
awesome.
and enjoy and relax, and just keep that in mind. That's really
for sure.
what it's all about.
And I would tell those people also to not go to the Hammers.
To what? Not
Not go to the Hammers.
not go to the Hammers?
Oh, if they're gonna.
Those kind of people, because then that'll get shut down.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, those are the people that are at Chocolate Thunder.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
We're not
same
going to keep
thing.
that from happening.
Yeah.
But I agree with your purpose.
I mean, if you want to race, sign up and race.
Yes, that is correct. Are you worried about bears on the trail?
Oh, okay. So I can tell you all kinds of bear stories that I've had over the years. I'm not going to bore you with them. But Brian and Bailey were there the night before us, and the bear took their stuff. So, and I heard it took Shannon Campbell's stuff, and I heard that it took some of the guys over in Dirty Dozen.
You don't leave food out where they can get it.
No.
They were there when majority of people were not there.
Right.
So when it's full of 1,500 people and 500,
The bears
don't want to
aren't
come around
interested.
that. And
Yeah.
typically they come to the edge of camp, and
Yes.
and they're not going to come through the camp.
So where we camped is like right in the middle, okay, on what they call the slabs, where the river comes through. But there's a part, if you go way back to what's called the Dirty Dozen and the big trees, you're literally on the edge of the forest, right? So you're probably going to get a visitor at night, that's, I mean, be smart about it, right?
But as long as people can camping at the Rubicon, have you ever heard of anyone getting attacked by a bear?
No.
Never. So
And the bears, if you ever see one, they grab the food and they take off. They don't sit there and eat it, and they're not looking to defend their space. They're scared.
people have been watching too much Yogi Bear. It's not how they work.
That's not how it works.
They book out.
Yeah. The only time you're going to get a pissed off bear is if you're messing with the babies.
Yeah.
Then you've got trouble.
You're going to get.
Yeah.
What about snakes?
I saw a snake right in our camp. Yep. And I've had them in my tent before, so my tent never stays open anymore.
Typically, the rattlesnakes, from what I actually read into that, you can have a rattlesnake in that area, but very uncommon to have an actual rattlesnake because of whatever they are.
Yeah.
They tend to stay at lower altitudes.
Yes.
That particular
Yes.
snake, I can't speak for
Yeah,
a
the
gopher
one
or
that I
whatnot.
saw was about 2 feet, and it was a little gardener snake.
Yeah, those, but the rattlesnakes, something about that particular snake, they stay at lower altitudes, I guess where there's more heat off the rocks or something
well,
like that.
and the rocks have all that heat.
Yeah,
You know, so, yeah.
Just don't be digging your hands under bushes and rocks. I mean, it's...
What else you got?
That's it.
Really, man, not many questions or comments today. Okay. Today's tech tip. I guess this was kind of today's tech tip, huh?
Go through your recovery kits. A recovery kit is not just a winch controller, gloves, and towels. Make sure you're taking hose clamps, fuses, relays, fluids, spare hoses. Because I build custom recovery kits for people. I also put couplings, hose couplings, different sizes. If you get a pinhole in your heater hose, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You can cut that, put your hose coupling in, and patch it that way.
Yeah.
Remember, if you need a really big hose clamp, you can take 3 and make a really big one.
I've even seen people use sockets, like a deep socket,
Yeah.
you know, and that'll get you off the trail.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Just go through your recovery kit and kind of think outside the box. Everything you've seen other people break, think about how that could be for your. Not everyone recovery kit is the same. It really has to do with your vehicle in some ways.
Yeah. And as you saw, we used 2 tree straps and 3 soft shackles. So, you know, just having one of something isn't necessarily
Yeah, I keep
enough.
2 on my roll cage at all
me
times.
too.
There's 2 on my roll cage.
Yeah.
I keep an axle strap in there. I keep a couple like steel D-rings in there. I keep gloves, rags, carb cleaner to clean something off. I'm trying to search.
The plastic bag.
The plastic,
I
I have my plastic bag
Yeah.
so we can trash bags to catch as much fluid as possible.
Yeah.
When I leaked gear oil on the slabs, I actually took my brake cleaner and tried to get as much of that up versus just hauling
Leaving
off
it.
and leaving a
Yeah.
bunch of crap there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So that's good. Okay, that's a good tech tip. And then we do have more runs and events coming up. This is off the website, so you can go ahead and look on here and find us at one of the next upcoming events. Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion, our Black Hills experience out in South Dakota, Trail Hero in Utah, and then of course a bunch of Jeep nights all over the place. So please come join us at one of those things. Trail Hero is typically where I give a whole bunch of rides. So if you're looking to get a ride in a GenRight Jeep, that'd be a good place to do it. And then of course, if you like what you see, please follow us on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. We'd sure appreciate that. Anything else, James? Last minute questions?
That's it.
Anything else you wanted to add?
No, I guess not. I gotta call up and order an axle shaft.
All right, everybody. Next weekend, next Wednesday, I do have Switch Pros. The owners of Switch Pros will be here to show you new stuff and answer all your questions about how to program them and do other things, what's possible on a Switch Pro. So you're not going to want to miss that. All right, till next time, we'll see you guys. Thank you.
Now for some Italian. That spot up the street.